It's 2025, and everyone's on the edge of their seats as the Vatican's ancient rituals kick off again. The cardinals have been locked in their conclave, and billions of eyes are glued to the little chimney on the Sistine Chapel. This moment is packed with tradition and has happened countless times over the years, but every time it feels brand new. Suddenly, white smoke starts billowing out of the chimney, a powerful signal that a decision has been made. The cardinals have picked a new leader for the Catholic Church. The crowd in St. Peter's Square goes wild, their excitement hitting an all-time high. That white smoke symbolizes unity, hope, and a fresh start. People from all walks of life and corners of the globe come together in the square, their faces showing a mix of emotions, some hopeful, some anxious, but all sharing in this historic moment. The air is thick with anticipation as everyone waits to see who will step out onto the balcony and introduce themselves as the new pope. Finally, the curtains on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica are drawn, and the world holds its breath. This is a big deal, not just for the Catholic Church, but for everyone. The new pope will be a spiritual leader for billions, someone to look up to in a world that often feels chaotic. Then, a name echoes through the air. The crowd erupts in applause and cheers. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tartaglia, known for his humility and kindness, has been chosen to lead the Catholic Church. His name fills the square, carried by the voices of thousands gathered to witness this moment. Luis Antonio Tagle, the charismatic Archbishop of Manila, is now Pope Francis II. His journey to this point has been all about dedication and service, especially to the poor and marginalized. Pope Francis II brings a message of hope and renewal, his warm smile reflecting his deep love for humanity. As the first Asian pope in nearly 5 centuries, his election highlights the growing diversity in the Catholic Church and recognizes Asia's important role in the global community. Pope Francis II's background and experiences offer a fresh perspective, deeply rooted in compassion and social justice. This marks a turning point and a new chapter in the long history of the Catholic Church, a moment filled with hope and a chance to tackle modern challenges with a new outlook. The crowd in St. Peter's Square shows just how far the Catholic Church reaches, a vibrant and diverse community united in faith. As he stands on the balcony, looking out over the sea of faces, Pope Francis II knows the weight of 2 millennia rests on his shoulders. He's now the shepherd of a global flock, ready to guide the Church through the complexities of today's world while staying true to its ancient roots. He understands the challenges ahead, everything from social and economic inequalities to the fast pace of modern tech and communication. But Pope Francis II isn't intimidated. He knows the Church needs to adapt to stay relevant while holding on to its core values. There's a quiet confidence in him as he smiles and offers a blessing. His words are simple but meaningful, a call for peace and unity that resonates with everyone there. Urbi et Orbi, he declares, addressing the city and the world. It's pretty amazing how faith can bring people together, no matter where they're from or what culture they belong to. It really shows the universal vibe of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis II is out there speaking to the city and the world, and the crowd is loving it, cheering and clapping, feeling uplifted by his words. It's a special moment that connects folks from all walks of life in a shared experience of faith and hope. A new chapter is starting. As the sun comes up over St. Peter's Basilica, it signals a fresh start for the Catholic Church. Pope Francis II is like a symbol of hope and renewal, shining a light in a world that often feels dark and divided. His leadership seems set to bring a new perspective, one that's all about compassion, inclusivity, and standing up for social justice. The road ahead might be tough, but with faith and determination, the Church can tackle the challenges of today and keep being a source of hope and inspiration for millions. Pope Francis II is quickly winning over the hearts of the faithful. People are calling him the Smiling Pope because his warmth and humility just shine through. It looks like his papacy will focus on dialogue and outreach. He talks about a church for the poor and emphasizes the need for environmental care, social justice, and interfaith conversations. Every word he says is analyzed, and every move he makes is watched closely. Everyone's on edge, wondering what this new papacy will bring. Will he be a reformer or a steady guide? Only time will reveal that. But one thing's for sure. The Catholic Church under Pope Francis II is at a turning point. Just 3 months into his papacy, Pope Francis II has already made a big splash on the world stage. His words and actions have really resonated with millions. Now, everyone is on the edge of their seats, waiting to see what he'll do next. The excitement is in the air as people wonder which direction he'll take. In this atmosphere, Pope Francis II is calling for a special meeting. A big deal that's gotten attention not just from Catholics, but from people everywhere. This isn't just any meeting. It's a significant moment that could shape the Church's future. Cardinals from all over the world have come to Rome, their bright red robes a striking sign of their unity and commitment. They stroll through the historic streets of the Eternal City, filled with questions and hopes for what's next. As they gather in Rome, the Vatican's grand halls are buzzing with energy. The cardinals, each representing their own communities, come together, showcasing the Church's global presence and influence. The vibrant red of their robes in the grand halls is both inspiring and humbling. The sheer number of cardinals shows how important this gathering is and how heavy the decisions they'll be making will be. The atmosphere is electric, with whispers of anticipation all around. Outside, the crowds are just as excited, eyes glued to the Vatican, waiting for any news. The whole world seems to be holding its breath, eager for Pope Francis II to share what he has in store. You can feel the excitement buzzing in the air. What's the big deal behind this gathering? Everyone's buzzing with theories, from changes in leadership to some major shifts in beliefs. The mystery just adds to the suspense as everyone waits to hear what the Pope will say. What's on the new Pope's mind for his cardinals? For the Church? For everyone out there? The questions keep piling up, and everyone's on the edge of their seats for answers. The Pope has shown he's not one to stick to tradition easily, and many are curious if he's about to shake things up again. The doors to the Clementine Hall swing open, and the excitement hits a high as the Pope steps up, ready to speak to the cardinals and the world. It's all about his cardinals, the Church, and the world. The moment is here. Pope Francis II walks in, his face serious like we rarely see. You can feel the weight of the moment, and the room goes quiet in respect and anticipation. The doors swing open again, and there he is, Pope Francis II, looking more serious than ever. A quiet settles over the gathered cardinals. Pope Francis starts to talk, his voice steady but soft. You can tell right away that what he's saying is serious, and everyone is paying close attention. His face shows a seriousness you don't often see. He talks about how the role of women in the Church is changing, how we need to be more inclusive, and why service and vocation matter. His words hit home, diving into topics that have been debated for a long time in the Church. The room goes quiet as all the cardinals gather around. He starts talking, his voice calm but strong. He talks about how the role of women in the Church is changing, how we need to be more inclusive, and the importance of serving and following one's calling. Then he says something that's going to echo for a long time, inspired by the Holy Spirit. I'm officially saying that the Catholic Church will allow women to be ordained as deacons. He keeps his voice steady and clear, discussing the evolving role of women in the Church, the need for inclusivity, and the significance of service and vocation. And then he makes that big announcement again. I'm officially saying that the Catholic Church will allow women to be ordained as deacons. The reaction was instant and intense, as the cardinals and everyone watching took in the importance of this big announcement. He talked about how the role of women in the Church is changing, the need for more inclusivity, and the value of service and vocation. Then he said something that will echo for generations. I hereby decree that the Catholic Church will allow the ordination of women as deacons. Everyone was stunned by this historic moment. The Pope's decree opens up a new chapter for the Church, one that looks promising for real change and progress. With the guidance of the Holy Spirit, he made it clear that this decision is a step toward greater inclusivity and recognizing the role of women. The decision to allow women to be ordained as deacons is a big move towards being more inclusive and equal within the Church. People are celebrating, but they're also taking a moment to think about what this means for service and calling. Then, the Pope said something that will be remembered for ages, guided by the Holy Spirit. I'm officially saying that the Catholic Church will allow women to be ordained as deacons. The response is instant and powerful as the cardinals and everyone watching take in the weight of this historic news. This decree from the Pope opens a new chapter in the Church's story, one that's all about real change and progress. The decision to ordain women as deacons really pushes for greater inclusivity and equality, and it's met with both cheers and thoughtful reflection. The Pope's words rang out through the Vatican, reminding everyone that the Church is committed to growing and changing to meet the needs of its members. As the news spreads, people around the world are reacting with a mix of joy, hope, and thoughts about what the future holds for the Church. With the Holy Spirit's guidance, the Pope declared that women can be ordained as deacons. The reaction is immediate and powerful, as the gathered cardinals and the world absorb the significance of this historic announcement. The Pope just dropped a big announcement that's shaking things up in the Church. He's decided to allow women to be ordained as deacons, which is a huge step towards making the Church more inclusive and equal. People are celebrating this bold move, but there's also a lot of thoughtfulness about what it means for the future. His words really resonated in the Vatican, serving as a strong reminder that the Church is committed to growing and changing to meet the needs of its followers. As the news spreads, folks around the world are feeling a mix of joy, hope, and reflection on what this means for the Church going forward. This moment is definitely one for the history books, a real turning point that's shining a light on progress and inclusivity for years to come. The Pope's decree isn't just a statement, it's a rallying cry for the Church to keep evolving in ways that reflect compassion, equality, and service. The reaction is immediate and powerful as everyone, from cardinals to everyday people, takes in the weight of this historic news. This is an exciting time for the Church, and it's clear that things are changing for the better. The resonant words of the Pope reverberated throughout the sacred halls of the Vatican, serving as a poignant reminder to all that the Church is steadfast in its commitment to evolve and adapt in accordance with the needs and aspirations of its followers. As news of this significant proclamation spreads across the globe, it stirs a diverse array of reactions among people, igniting feelings of joy, a renewed sense of hope, and profound contemplation regarding the future trajectory of the Church. This moment is poised to be etched in history as a pivotal turning point. a beacon of progress and inclusivity that will inspire generations to come. The Pope's decree transcends mere rhetoric. It stands as a powerful call to action, urging the Church to continue its journey of growth and transformation in ways that genuinely reflect essential values such as compassion, equality, and unwavering service to humanity. The world watches with bated breath as the Church embarks on this new chapter, guided by the divine influence of the Holy Spirit, toward a future that embraces inclusivity and understanding. In this time of reflection and potential change, the faithful and the curious alike find themselves at a crossroads, contemplating what this shift means not just for the institution of the Church, but for society as a whole. The anticipation is palpable as individuals from diverse backgrounds and beliefs engage in discussions about the implications of this new direction. Will it lead to a more welcoming and affirming environment for those who have felt marginalized? Can it foster deeper connections among communities that have long been divided? As the Church steps boldly into this new era, it carries with it the hopes and dreams of countless individuals who yearn for a place where they can belong and be valued. The world is watching closely, eager to witness how the Church will embody these ideals in its teachings, practices, and outreach. The journey ahead is undoubtedly fraught with challenges, yet it also brims with potential for remarkable transformation. This moment in time is not just a fleeting event. It is a harbinger of change that invites everyone to participate in a shared vision of a more compassionate and inclusive future. The atmosphere in Clementine Hall is nothing short of electric, charged with an extraordinary blend of disbelief, excitement, and a hint of nervousness that seems to hang in the air like a thick fog. This grand setting, typically known for its solemnity and decorum, is now alive with an unusual vibrancy, as if the very walls are reverberating with the collective emotions of those gathered within. The cardinals, revered figures who have dedicated their lives to the Church, sit in stunned silence, their expressions a tapestry of shock and bewilderment. It is evident from the furrowed brows and wide eyes that they are grappling with the weight of what they have just heard, as the reality of this moment begins to sink in. Their faces, a canvas of astonishment, reflect a profound sense of the significance of the occasion. This is not merely another announcement. It is a bold declaration that dares to challenge the time-honored traditions that have governed the Church for centuries. The implications of Pope Francis II's words resonate deeply, reverberating through the hearts and minds of those present. They find themselves at a pivotal crossroads, faced with a vision that could redefine their understanding of faith, governance, and the very nature of their roles within the Church. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation as the cardinals struggle to process the unexpected revelation. It is a moment that will undoubtedly be etched in their memories, a turning point that invites both reflection and debate. In this hallowed space, where decisions of great consequence are made, the weight of history presses down upon them, and the air crackles with the potential for change. Pope Francis II has just shared something they never could have anticipated, and the path ahead is fraught with uncertainty, yet brimming with the promise of new possibilities. As the murmurs began to circulate among the gathered clergy, a palpable tension filled the air, with members turning towards one another in a mixture of disbelief and contemplation. The gravity of the Pope's declaration was slowly dawning on everyone present, and it became increasingly clear that this moment was nothing short of historic. For centuries, the Catholic Church had adhered to a tradition that strictly limited the ordained ministry, specifically the priesthood and the diaconate, to men alone. This long-standing practice had become a cornerstone of the Church's identity, deeply woven into its fabric and influencing its doctrines and practices. However, the exclusion of women from these sacred roles has ignited a fervent and ongoing debate both within the hallowed halls of the church and in the broader societal discourse. Many had long questioned the rationale behind such a policy, advocating for a more inclusive approach that recognizes the valuable contributions women can make to the church's mission and leadership. Now, with a single profound statement, Pope Francis II has shattered this entrenched tradition and opened a floodgate of possibilities. His words, though simple, resonate with a powerful significance that could fundamentally reshape the future landscape of the Church. By allowing the ordination of women as deacons, he has not only made a bold theological statement, but also signaled a transformative shift towards inclusivity and representation within the Church's hierarchy. This moment could mark the beginning of a new chapter, one where the voices and gifts of women are recognized and embraced, fostering a more diverse and equitable community of faith. The implications of this decision are vast, and the clergy members can hardly contain their excitement and anxiety as they ponder what this monumental change could mean for the Church and its followers in the years to come. The news spreads like wildfire. In no time, it's all over TV, dominating social media and sparking debates in homes, churches, and seminaries worldwide. The global Catholic community is buzzing with reactions. Some are thrilled and hopeful, while others are skeptical and worried. This isn't just a religious milestone, it's a cultural and social event. The Catholic world is trying to wrap its head around what this big change means. Will it lead to more reforms? How will traditionalists react? There are so many questions, and no one knows the answers yet. Pope Francis II, the smiling Pope, has shown himself to be a bold, maybe even radical reformer. His time in office has been all about challenging the norm and tackling long-standing issues in the Church. This latest move shows his vision for a more inclusive and progressive Catholic Church, one that embraces change while sticking to its core values. For more updates, make sure to subscribe to our channel